at the end of days. The first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity. Are you all right, my girl?
It was nothing, Uncle. Just a bad dream. We should be getting you home.
But there's still work to be done. If these translations are correct, the powers of hell could already be on the move. The world must be told of the coming darkness. You do believe me, don't you, Leah? It has begun.
Leave it, Uncle! It's not important!
Grows must also wither and die. What dies and rots will then nourish the living. This is the great cycle of being, and we, the priests of Rathma, use our dark art to protect it. Though most do not understand us, we go where we are needed. My master has learned that a star fell in the west, drawing the dead from their graves. He commands me to journey to Tristram and return them to their rest. For if the cycle is not upheld, it would mean the end of all things. I am near the fallen star, and the dead it raised. come to aid these lands. Where is the fallen star?
It fell on the old cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with her.
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming.
We can't open the gates until we drive them back.
They keep coming!
Rathma has blessed me.
I've never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards, open the gates! You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
Burn those corpses before they rise again.
Zakharum has fallen to disgrace. What faith can save us now? It is the end of the world. Can't you see that?
Found some interesting things on my latest dig. You should take a look.
May the gods who abandoned us come to your aid one last time.
I promised Marco I'd protect him, and now he's dead.
Nothing ever seems to change in New Tristram, does it?
Why do you say that?
There's always some threat of the risen dead or foul evil descending on the town, isn't there?
Are you Leah? Did you survive the fallen star?
I did, but it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia, but... Watch out! The wounded are turning!
This is killing business. Welcome to the Slaughtered Calf Inn. Bring me whatever...
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
Yes. That is why I am here.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do. We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle Deckard is still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
For many years, villagers were too afraid to settle near the ruins of the cursed town Tristram. But as time went by, adventurers arrived to loot the old cathedral, and their business was profitable enough that New Tristram sprang up to accommodate them. Fewer travelers visit now, though, and the town is mostly populated by craftsmen and farmers.
Don't you dare lift a finger to help our mayor fix his...
Some heroes are fighting each other in an area near here. Wanna go? Oh, and you didn't hear about it from me. Afraid of damaging your armor or weapons? That won't happen over there. In fact, no one even dies. Disappointing, really. Brawl with the best of them.
"16 militiamen went out, only Rumford came back." I came here to study the fall of old Tristram.
The dead have been a bane on our existence since that cursed fire fell. We have to burn them, just to make sure they don't rise from the grave.
What can you tell me of Leah and Cain?
Not too much, I'm afraid. They came here almost a year ago. She split her time between looking after him and helping out the town. He spent his days in the old cathedral, looking for old texts from what I hear. They were inside when that thing hit. She's lucky to be alive.
I will bring peace to the risen dead.
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
I have experience in these matters.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors.
They're attacking the barricades!
There! That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
I, Deckard Cain, have spent many years traveling and writing about the strange creatures in our world, but the sight of the wretched mothers still haunts me. They are the remnants of Queen Asilla's slaughtered handmaidens who were twisted by foul magic. Now they feast upon cadavers and regurgitate them as newly formed, risen dead.
When Leah told us the dead were pouring out of the cathedral, we quickly went to put an end to it. At first it seemed we were succeeding, but they just kept coming. We were overcome. Captain Dalton and the men fought valiantly. They protected me. I am no soldier. I was a farmer. I should not have been out there with them. I do not know how I made it back here. None of the others did. And now, somehow, I'm supposed to lead the militia.
I will never forget the first time I saw these horrors shambling out of the misty woods. Our loved ones, buried long ago, rose from their graves and began to attack the living. However, the risen dead were only the beginning.
Dear reader, I am Abd al-Hazir, adventurer, scholar, and researcher. I share my knowledge of this incredible world and its creatures through my insightful missives, often at grave risk to myself. Why, I was recently in Honduras, where my tents were ransacked by vicious quill fiends. I was able to beat them off with a shoe, but a less bold man would have fared far worse.
The night embraces you. This will be a challenge. Tristram. Diablo once walked these lands.
For a long time, Uncle Deckard avoided coming back to this place. There were a lot of ghosts here for him. This is where Diablo drove old King Leoric mad and terrorized the people. I don't know what really happened here, but whatever it was horrible. Nearly everyone who survived went mad.
Thank you for your help, but could you talk some sense into Leah? She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her uncle.
Interesting. If he lives, his knowledge could prove useful. My master would take pride in this. I will help you find your uncle, Leah.
We'll need to open the cathedral first. The guards locked it up before they were ambushed. Rumford told me they fought their way back to Adria's hut. The key must still be there.
How did your mother die?
Well, details are hazy, but I know that Adria was obsessed with chasing the arcane. She knew she could never raise a child. Uncle Deckard believes that the madness and horror of her life finally caught up with her.
I heard the people who left to get help.
Your cart is in the way.
How dare you speak to me like that? I am the mayor of this town.
Then why are you standing here idle?
Are you mad? This town is doomed. Anyone with a grain of sense should be trying to get out. Will you help me or not?
No.
Just my luck. My business is the only thing not rising from the dead in this town.
What are we doing in my room? A miracle has happened. A hero, like one out of Uncle Deckard's tales, appeared and saved us. I know in my heart that my uncle still lives, and I pray that the hero will bring him home safely.
Bard got himself in.
Here, let me open the gate. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard. I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons. Look! A hidden cellar! Follow me!
Dark magic lingers here.
People said she was a witch, but I never believed it. Captain Dalton! Here's the key, and my mother's journal. What I've seen of it is disturbing. I want to know more about her, but that can wait. We need to save Uncle Deckard first.
Leave that to me. You'd best stay and learn what you can.
Thank you.
Aiden came to me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again. But like Aiden, I'll
My
be gone
essence is
before they
too
fall.
low. This soul is not yet at rest. My essence is too low. Tristram Cathedral. The star fell below. I have long waited for this knowledge.
Weakness consumes you! The grotesques may seem slow and senseless, but they hide many dangers within their hideously malformed bodies. A set of spikes lurks beneath the monster's flesh, and foul parasites nest within them. It is said that these horrors themselves are constructed by a greater evil, a darkness that I cannot even fathom. Some foul new disease has taken hold in this land, and the carrion bats are near the heart of it. Since returning to Tristram, I have seen their numbers surge. The evil forces that linger here give them strength, and I fear that the worst is yet to come.
Some devious little goblins have been robbing our merchants. When pursued, they simply open portals and disappear with the most aggravating chuckle. The peasantry seem to believe that the goblins serve a great demon lord known as Greed. And furthermore, that their portals lead to Greed's domain. A ludicrous notion, truly.
Can bring that down. Slatdanan, and I'm cursed. Once the captain of King Leoric's army, I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart. Fear the end. He was Lazarus. Of that I am certain. He alone had the king's ear, and whispered dark and evil magics into it, instilling the notion of an imminent attack by Westmarch. Afraid to speak against the Archbishop, the councillors nodded their empty heads in agreement, and sent us off to die.
Foul minions, stay back! Back! May this ledge roll. Skeleton Cain.
The power of the fallen star awakened me, and soon all will suffer as I have suffered. Gods, bring me his bones!
Thank you, but why did you risk yourself for me?
I believe we can aid each other. Your niece told me you were here.
Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I feared the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps I found.
I'm unable to get it open.
We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram.
I have found Leah's uncle, Deckard Cain. He was pursued by a creature called the Skeleton King, who blocks the path to the fallen star.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
Friend? I am not often called that. But I wish to know more about the fallen star.
The prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back.
The Skeleton King was once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
I will find a way to lay him to rest.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Seek out our blacksmith, Hadrig. He knows of its whereabouts. Leia, you should not dismiss the signs so lightly. Do you not believe the evidence of your own eyes?
Horrors have visited Tristram before, and it endured.
But what of the texts? The Zakharum tomes warn of a falling star. The Herodric scroll spoke of the dead rising, and the Lord of Lies, the prophecy of the...
May the gods who abandoned us come to your aid.
Every scholar of demonic laws.
From the east shall come a monarch whose rule begins in blood and...
I've spent most of my life traveling from place to place with Uncle Deckard, while he did his crazy research.
It seems reasonable enough to me.
He's convinced that the forces of hell will invade our world and bring about the end times. All these years, he's still searching for a way to stop this apocalypse.
What did you learn of Adria?
She wasn't from Tristram originally. She came here during the Troubles. She was in search of something, but I'm not sure what. She reminds me of Uncle Deckard, obsessed with the war between angels and demons.
I am the last of the Horodrim. I couldn't always claim this. In fact, if I had turned to the Horodric teachings sooner, Diablo could have been stopped before his reign of terror began.
That seems unlikely.
When the first signs appeared, I did nothing. I had shrugged the old tales off like they were so much fantasy, and Tristram, no, the world, has paid dearly for my arrogance. I have tried to make up for my failings. Leia and I have spent her lifetime scouring the world, collecting pieces of the prophecy of the end days. If I can decipher it, we will have the key to defeating the Lords of Hell.
You and Leia depend on each other.
I do not know what my life would have been like had I not raised her. Oh, it must have been difficult for Leia, following an old man on a mad search for the secrets to defeating the Lords of the Burning Hells. But though she has seen her share of mysterious things, she is still unsure of my quest. I can understand. She has never seen anything like Diablo and his brothers. The prophecy of the end days is contained within the Herodric tomes I inherited from my ancestor, Jared Cain. It is a warning to those who could interpret it regarding Hell's ultimate invasion of our world, written by many different people throughout history, in many different lands. All known versions of the prophecy are incomplete. I have spent a good part of the past 20 years trying to complete it. I am certain it holds the answers to defeating the Lords of Hell.
What happened to Tristram's king?
Leoric resisted Diablo's attempts to possess him, but the effort left him weak and confused. When his son Albrecht was kidnapped to be a vessel for Diablo, it destroyed any sanity Leoric had left.
And so he became the Skeleton King.
He commanded an army of the dead deep within the cathedral, finally serving the Lord of Terror he had resisted while alive. Many adventurers tried and failed to slay the Skeleton King. It was left to Leoric's eldest son, Aiden, to finally kill the monster his father had become.
I volunteered to help because it seemed the right thing to do. But I'm no leader of men.
True, though you have held the town thus far.
That's a simple thing for you to say. You were born to fight monsters like the risen dead. Me? I'm just a farmer. These dark events tax us. I worry for Hadrig, our blacksmith, most of all. His wife has been injured, and he is tasked with seeing to those who may turn. His family has suffered under this curse before. His grandfather, the Chancellor to King Leoric, was killed when the evil first spread over Tristram 20 years ago.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
Uncle Deckard is home, rescued from the clutches of the Skeleton King. I'm so glad. But the Skeleton King, I thought he was a folktale. The idea of Mad King Leoric returning to torture this place. Hasn't Tristram suffered?
Did you know that King Leoric had his own wife?
Uncle Deckard is home, rescued from the clutches of the Skeleton.
I'm afraid not.
So this is how it ends? They dragged my cart from the road, but for what? I can't get it repaired. Might as well dig a hole and die in it.
You would not be alone. Many have died before their time here.
I have some... Each of my items is very special to me, but I suppose I can sell you one or two things if I must. Leah spent all night alongside the blacksmith's wife, tending the wounded.
Geldo, how sweet of you to ask. My people, the Vetchin, are nomads, always traveling, looking for the land we might settle. All of us have the sight, but few have it as strong as myself. You know, men have always pursued me for my visions. Well, for things other than my visions. But everyone wants to know what the future holds.
My duty is my future.
So serious. Just because you're fated to save the world doesn't mean you shouldn't have a good time. The world is constantly renewing itself, eternally playing out the same events over and over again. We can merely play our parts.
What are you trying to say?
I speak clearly. Do not blame me for the state of your mind.
Did you hear? Old Rumford has us down to half rations. How are we supposed to fight?
You are the blacksmith, aren't you? I have a request.
Not now. It's my wife. She's locked in the cellar like all those who've been bitten. I'm to put them all down. But how can I kill my own wife?
Death is a path all must tread. allow me to help.
Thank you. Follow me. Sure, I may do business with some unsavory...
This gate is locked by order of the captain.
Friends, I'm sorry.
Do not apologize. You grant them peace.
Mira, my love, forgive me.
Hedrig, help me.
I couldn't have done this without you. I'm in your debt. My name is Hedrig Aemon.
There is a way you could repay me. I seek the crown of King Leoric.
I can help you there. It's buried with his chancellor, my grandfather. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
I'm afraid not. I must have a corpse.
Scavengers are ugly, pathetic creatures who survive off of carrion and corpses, too diseased to attract any other carnivores. I did once meet a raggedy fellow who claimed that he had trained one of the beasts to bring him large rats to eat. But I'm sure the story is utter nonsense.
This world can abide you no longer! Do not fear the end.
I'm afraid not.
Demons have been known to devour their own young when no other nourishment is available. Their offspring, the imps, sometimes manage to flee and band together with other demon spawn. They rove in vicious packs, ready to descend upon the unwary traveler and rip his body to shreds with their tiny needle-sharp teeth. The tragedies in these lands have left many restless spirits in their wake, and they demand retribution. These spirits will take out their vengeance on any unsuspecting individual who may pass, for they believe that the blood of the living will yet restore the lives that were ripped away from them.
For every action, a consequence. My master would take pride.
During the last days of King Leoric's reign, even the skeletons of the ancient dead could not rest. They took up their broken armor and weapons once more, ready to cut down anything that yet drew breath.
They can only fight me for a little longer. I'm afraid not. Blessed me. creature will die. The crown is not in this crypt. I'll search elsewhere. corpse for that. That is not possible. I require a corpse for that. I must have a nose. Is not here. I'll look for it in another crypt. Has blessed me. That is not possible. That is not possible. The grave beckons. I'm afraid not. think the crown is nearby.
The unburied are formed from human corpses that were flung into mass graves without a proper burial. This hideous amalgamation of bodies decomposes together into one being, bound by some foul magic. For all my knowledge, I could only flee from it, and I would expect any other sensible person to do the same.
Fear the end.
No! I will not allow you to bring that monster Leoric back to this world!
I need to go back.
You found the crown. Truth be told, I didn't think you'd make it back alive. Ah, it needs repair. Should be no problem. It's good to work again. There. New as the day it was placed upon the Black King's head. I need something more than making spades to occupy my mind. I want my life to mean something.
There is no higher calling than serving the balance. The priests of Rathma would welcome your aid. I would like to hear more about your grandfather, the Chancellor.
Not much to tell. I lived with my father in Chaldeum at the time. We heard that my grandfather stayed in Tristram until the end, trying to save lives. Don't know if he succeeded, but there it is. When the Skeleton King fell, my grandfather was dying from a sword wound. He had the crown sealed with him to keep it safe.
He made his choice, then. Back at your forge already?
Work needs doing. No one is going to do it for me.
You were quite upset about Mira.
I don't want to talk about my wife. Dead is dead and gone is gone. Do you want work done or not?
I have retrieved the crown.
Ah, at last. With it, you can unlock the sealed door in the room where you rescued me and enter the royal crypts. When you find the Skeleton King, place the crown atop his head and destroy him.
There is no other way to reach the fallen star, it seems.
I've dug up some new things for you to take a look at.
By the grace of the ancients, may your soul be...
The news continues to worsen. How can you continue to wade into the fray with nary a thought for your own safety? It is madness.
This is what I have trained for.
I wish that Leia could live a different life, a more normal life. But alas, such is not her fate. When I pass, there is none but her to continue my work, and the future of this world hangs in the balance.
I am returning to town. I need to go back. Horrific defeat in Westmarch, my beloved king lost all pretense of sanity. He seethed with rage, spitting curses upon us as traitors. With great sorrow, I ran him through. That needs to recharge.
Maintain your incantations. He will soon come. Your magic is weak. I am free.
Now, back to my mission. Who are you?
You will know soon enough. Help me find my gear. I will reward you well. Tell me, what brought you to this infernal place?
I must slay the Skeleton King.
Then our aims align. Cultists dragged me past this glowing pit. What made it? I will know soon. Down this way. There are my weapons.
Free! Do not let him be off!
Warrior of the Templar Order. If it is the Skeleton King you seek, then you will have to fight your way past John Dar. There is no reason we should hunt alone.
If you insist.
Black magic bars our way, but the will of a Templar is stronger. You were a Templar, John Dar. How could you succumb to this cult?
The coven is my brotherhood now. The powers we serve will soon rule this world! Please forgive me. My vision was clouded by the Coven's evil magic.
Betrayal can never be forgiven. Thank you for your aid. I will go with you on your hunt for the Skeleton King. There is one condition. If we find the sacred tomes of my order, they are mine.
Do as you please. Such books do not interest me.
Then onwards we go, to fight the Skeleton King.
Lead the way to glory.
Excellent. No. A worthy choice. A useful skill.
Serve the cycle.
Keep your distance from him. This burden is mine to bear. May death bring peace from your madness, Leoric.
Traitors! Even in death, the armies of Condorus will still obey their king, even if you will not.
We shall put you down, Hellspawn!
The light grows stronger within you.
is not possible.
Are you ever afraid in battle?
Emotion weighs little on the priests of Ravna. Not enough essence.
We have just arrived in Tristram, and I must say, I'm a bit dismayed. This place is a backwater filled with serfs and an ancient broken-down monastery, hardly fit for the King of Condorus. I cannot fathom why Lazarus was so intent on this becoming our new seat of power.
You will never defeat me!
You were defeated the moment you surrendered to madness.
High priests in Kurast proclaimed Leoric King of Condorus many years ago. He ruled well until Diablo's influence drove him mad, and the loyal knight Lac-Danan was forced to slay him. Afterward, Diablo himself raised Leoric from the dead as the Skeleton King, until the monarch's son, Aiden, vanquished him.
No.
The crater. This is unexpected. How did you come here?
I remember falling.
Who are you?
I am not your enemy. I think. Yes, I believe I have come with a warning. The darkness. The darkness is coming. I don't remember.
You must get to safety. Then we will find answers. I believed it was a fallen star. But in truth, it was only a man. And of course his memories have vanished. Perhaps Deckard Cain will know more. I found him in the crater.
No man could survive such a thing. Who are you? What are you?
A warrior, I think. I came bearing grave news, but I cannot remember.
Your message might be all that can save us from impending doom.
Were you born into the Templar Order?
No. Our scripture says, as a farmer reaps his wheat, so must the Order harvest and purify the weeds.
And you do not take offense to that?
You speak out of kindness, but you do not understand. When they took me, they saved my life and my immortal soul.
Tell me everything you remember, stranger. Every detail.
Falling. Fire. A sword of great power. It was part of me. But it shattered into 3 pieces as I fell.
It is vital that we find those pieces. I believe the sword made whole will restore your memory.
The goatmen are rampaging through the fields. Could the sword have anything to do with that?
Of course, of course! Just as the dead rose around the stranger, the sword pieces drove the goatmen to madness.
It's possible. We'll have our answers once I retrieve the sword.
I can hardly believe it, but the falling star is a man. When Uncle Deckard realized this, he was crushed. I know he was hoping for something more miraculous.
The Horodrim were powerful mages gathered together by the Archangel Tyrael to defeat the 3 prime evils, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal. They devoted themselves fully to the destruction of the demon lords and left behind valuable tomes and teachings.
And you are connected to them, right?
My ancestor was the leader of the Horodrim, Jared Cain. When the Horodrim died out, their tomes stayed in my family. I was thrilled by tales of the Horodrim as a little boy, but it wasn't until I returned to them as an adult that I realized they contained deeper truths.
Do you remember anything else yet?
Only that there were surges of light and a kind of pain.
You seem unwell.
The emptiness gnaws at me. It is a constant frustration.
There is no need for that. I will return the sword soon.
Tyrael is the angel of justice. He has been helping mankind for generations, though he is forbidden to do so in any direct manner. Long ago, the high heavens and the burning hells made a pact as a result of the Sin War that they would not interfere in our world.
So Tyrael is bound to his word even though the demons have broken their pact.
The Angiris Council, the archangels that lead heaven, almost destroyed our world once to keep the demons from spreading their corruption upon it. If Tyrael were to act directly, it would alert the Council to the demons' activities here and imperil us all.
I hear you are going to the fields. It was a place of great beauty before the dirty Khazra fouled it with their presence. Kill some of them for me, will you?
I've dug up some new things for you to take a look at.
What was once one shall become four.
If there's a sword here, we will find it.
That is not possible.
Some time ago, I revealed that the Khazra, or goatmen, were originally humans until the Vizieri corrupted them. For many years,
That
these
is not
creatures were
possible.
simple and lethargic. These days have ended. Khazra attacks are widely reported, and the number of fatalities is higher than anything in my records. The large, sluggish beasts can thrive in any grassland or forest, provided there's enough water. Farmers will recognize these brutes as the savage cousins of the common pack beast, a tame breed that was likely domesticated nearly 2,000 years ago. One can hardly imagine the trouble that effort must have taken. I have heard the most ridiculous tales about travelers being ambushed by vicious trees. It is too much. Despite their names, the wood wraiths are not plants, but fully mobile beasts who have taken on the guise of foliage to ensnare their prey. Only a simpleton could be fooled by such a trick.
I will use it well. We must stop the attacks on these farms, or the people of Tristram will starve.
That is not possible. I'm afraid not.
safe for now.
Someone still lives here.
Impressive. You braved the Khosra to come see my wares?
Mighty adversary is before us.
That is not possible. Wait.
Weakness consumes you!
I must have a corpse. That is not possible. That blow. I must be near a piece of the sword.
Dark coven has formed in Tristram, and I fear that their superstitious violence may
Kill him!
A dark coven has formed in Tristram, and I fear that their superstitious violence may
We must hurry with the ritual. Magda will be here soon. It is time.
The bestial hellion.
Who are you to take what is mine?
It belongs to another.
Regardless, I have claimed it. I am Magda, and I lead this coven. The shard is mine.
Then you have made an enemy.
Very well. Let the games begin. Well fought. But you will never possess the next piece. It has fallen where only the ancients may tread.
She is more devious than she appears.
A dark coven has formed in Tristram, and I fear that their superstitious violence may damn the whole region. I discovered very little during my eavesdropping, except that the word Magda was repeated several times in their chants. Oh well, now I journey to the safety of my home, where I may put these worries behind me.
The bestial hellions are demons that can be summoned from the burning hells with the aid of foul sorcery. They are given to chasing down their foes and attacking them with savage fangs. This usually allows some spare time for their masters to craft their dark spell work and finish off the victim.
I am returning to town. I recovered a piece of the sword, but members of a coven are pursuing it as well.
Uncle Deckard, they sound like those dark cultists you told me about.
Very good, Leah. You have been paying attention. Stranger, does any of this jar your memory?
I have no memory of this coven, but I sense a far darker shadow guiding its hand.
They know where the next piece is. Their leader said it fell where only ancients may tread.
That makes me think of the drowned temple near the festering woods. I remember you telling me about it, Uncle.
Exactly, Leah. The temple was home to the Nephilim. Leah, your knowledge could be invaluable. You must go and help our friend retrieve the sword piece.
The Nephilim were ancient humans with fantastic powers. Legend holds that they waged a terrible battle near the temple, and that their ghosts still war with one another.
A most unusual sword fragment, isn't it?
Indeed, it feels familiar to me, though the rest is still unclear.
It looks like a weapon for a great warrior.
If that is what I am, then my strength has gone with my memory.
Such things have a way of returning to us in times of need.
Magda's coven is a remnant of an ancient religion called the Triune that worshipped the primevals as gods.
The primevals are gone. Who do they serve now?
The last two evils, Asmodan and Belial, remain. And if either of them are behind this coven, then our troubles are only beginning.
My grandfather used to tell me stories of ancient heroes who performed impossible feats. You remind me of those heroes. Of course, he also told me I looked like a quill fiend. He was a strange man.
Doesn't feel right being in Uncle Deckard's room when he's not here.
With the dead squared away and Cain back in town. As you can see, business is atrocious.
What? You're not really thinking of reading my journal, are you? Uncle Deckard believes the key to unlocking the stranger's memory is reassembling his sword. I wish I could say this was another of Uncle's crazy theories, but I can't deny that these ominous events are starting to really scare me.